Let's welcome the president of Jacksonville Wealth Builders, Alex. Pronounce your last name for me, buddy. I only know you as Alex.
Sifakis.
Sifakis, exactly how it's spelled. Why couldn't I get that right?
I'm butchering it earlier.
Sorry about that. I knew you were on hold, and I was like, oh, he's hearing me butcher his name. So listen, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. You know, we talked in the last show a lot about Jacksonville Wealth Builders, and the response that we got was terrific. And so we said, hey, let's get the president of the company on the air, talk about what's going on down in Jacksonville and the good work you guys are doing. So let's start with that. Welcome to the show. What's happening in Jacksonville, Florida?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Love the show.
Thank you.
Right now in Jacksonville, Florida, we got a lot of exciting things going on. One of the biggest things about Jacksonville is here. It's a great cash flow market. So when you're talking about investing in rental properties, you can get great cash flow here because you have really low prices compared to the national market, but you actually have higher rents than the national median. So most of the time rents move kind of in line with home prices. If you have lower prices, you have lower rents. But here in Jacksonville, you have lower prices and higher rents, which from an investing standpoint is amazing because you can get really, really great returns on your investment. So,
now, do you have a theory, Alex, on why that would be? Why are rents rising faster than prices?
Well, rents are rising here, but even when even a couple years ago, the comparable prices to rents were still higher. And it just goes down to supply and demand, just like anything else that drives prices. In Jacksonville, 34% of the residents here rent, whereas Florida in a whole, 25% of residents rent. So you have a much higher demand for rentals in Jacksonville, which raises the prices.
Right. And I also know that compared to the rest of the state, you're about the youngest city in Florida in terms of an average age. It's like the early 30s is the median age in Jacksonville, which would account for some of that extra demand for rentals. But then you got the job base, and we were just talking to a caller a moment ago about a military base in Colorado that he's moving near. You guys have some military down there as well, don't you?
Yeah, there's two large military bases here, NAS Jackson, Mayport. So there's a large amount of military, which of course sometimes they don't know how long they're going to be here, so they rent instead of buying here. So in addition to military and government jobs, you have a very vibrant private sector that brings in a lot of, like you said, younger people, young talent that is continuing to grow the population here. So.
Give me some of the big names of the corporations that are headquartered down there.
You got like CSX, Deutsche Bank. There's a lot of logistics and financial companies here. LPS, Lender Processing Services, has a large base here. So.
Right, so it's fair to assume that maybe over the next 10 years that the rents will continue to rise, but also the prices are going to continue to rise. So the timing of getting in, what I try to get across to folks is the idea that there is a perfect storm going on right now. One of the things I love about what Jacksonville Wealth Builders does is that you have answered you've cracked the code on how to lower the barrier of entry for investors all over the world, because you kind of invented the term turnkey investing. And so people, I hear it all the time, yeah, Greg, I'd love to invest in real estate, but, I might get a phone call in the middle of the night from a tenant, there's a leaky roof or something like that. That's one of your specialties, is that you're presenting people with an opportunity to own this fabulous asset class without worrying about that call from the tenant, right?
Absolutely. What we actually do is we're out there every day buying investment properties that are going to return great returns to our clients. And so we buy the property, totally renovate it, put a tenant in the property, then sell it to a client of ours who's looking for that long-term income-producing rental property that they want to own. And then we do the property management for them afterwards. So we collect the rent, we fix that broken toilet in the middle of the night, and we send the rental money to our clients. So all the client ever has to do is buy the property and then cash the checks that we're sending them every single month. We take care of all of the dirty work that goes along with real estate for them.
That's great. Now, when you guys do the renovations, I think it's noteworthy to talk about what you actually do, because you produce a house that you bought first. That's a very interesting thing, is that you guys buy them first, then you package them, and then you resell them to investors. You're not selling people a property that they're buying directly from the seller. You become the seller. And so you've actually taken possession of the property, and you do a couple of structural things to make sure they're up to speed, right?
Absolutely. And, we have to take ownership of the property because we're doing, heavy renovations to these properties. So we're not like brokering anything and like selling a property to our clients that we don't know too much about. We're buying them, and we're putting, sometimes $30,000-$40,000 of renovations into them, new plumbing, electric, AC, flooring, kitchens, baths, everything, so that our clients are getting a property that we feel confident in, that it was renovated the right way, and that, more importantly for them, they're going to have very low maintenance, costs going forward, because we've already done all the large-scale items, the heavy lifting up front before they even own the property.
Yeah, that's an important distinction there, the idea that they're getting something almost close to new. But you guys have actually created another innovation recently where you're actually building homes for use as rentals, right?
Absolutely.
Now, that I'd never heard of until I met you guys. So tell me what you're doing there.
I'd never heard of it either. We kind of just came up with it. So what we're doing now, we're actually buying lots and building brand new homes. And these are good-looking houses. They got brick front, hardy board siding. Some have garages, 4-bedroom, 2-bath homes, 1,400 to 1,600 square feet. So that we're building, putting tenants into them, and then selling them to our clients. And they're obviously, tenants love the properties because they're renting out so quickly, because when have you ever been able to rent out a brand new home?
Never.
And our clients love the properties because they're literally brand new. It's kind of an innovation that we came up with, and it's been hugely successful.
So, Alex, tell me the kind of people that you must get a lot of out-of-town investors because of the turnkey nature of what you do. Describe some profiles of people that work with you guys.
We do have a lot of out-of-town investors. They're busy professionals, doctors, accountants, executives, people like that have busy personal lives, and they want to spend their free time fishing or snowboarding or spending time with their family, not worrying about, their investments. So they want to invest in real estate. They don't have the time, so they come to us for that. We have a couple of our clients. I can give you some, just actual examples here. Joe and Jang Dela Cruz, some great clients of ours. Joe's an engineer. They bought their third property from us a little while ago. Joe used it to pay for his car payment, his gym membership, his iPhone bills. So all that is basically free to him now. And the third property is actually paying for their daughter Mia's college education.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm a big believer in what we call compartmentalized investing. All right, there's a lot of people who get a lot of bad advice. We talked in the first segment about the numbskulls that get on CNBC and talk about the housing market. There's a whole other category of lousy advice out there, and those are the guys you find if you have insomnia and you can't sleep, and so you turn on the TV and there's a snake oil salesman on the hood of a yacht talking about how you can be rich like me with no money and no credit, no problem. I'll teach you how to buy properties at half their value. There's so much bad advice out there that we want people to understand the right way to do this is don't go about this with the expectation you're going to buy a property for 20 or 30% less than what it's worth. It's not really out there, okay? I mean, yes, you can get a foreclosure from a bank, but the truth is there's a lot of people ahead of you in line for that. People don't call their stockbroker and say, hey, what is Google trading at today? Oh, $560 a share. Okay, see if you can get it for me for $475. They don't do that. They don't tell the stockbroker, find me an under-market share of stock. I don't know why they think they should approach real estate that way. But your client, the idea that this property over here pays my gym membership and my car payment, this property over here pays for my car payment, and this property over here is my daughter's college fund, that kind of compartmentalized investing is very, very powerful to help you get the kind of patience that you need to just ride out whatever comes. Just take your time. For example, if sometimes a property goes vacant, okay, even a very closely managed property, sometimes somebody's got to suck up a couple of months of mortgage payments because the tenant leaves and you haven't found him a new one yet, right? Well, if all that means I have to pay my car payment by myself this month, it's like it's easier to swallow when you see something right before your eyes that is being financed by this house over here. It's just did you guys teach them that, or did that come natural to them?
Joe's a numbers guy. He's an engineer. He actually did that himself, although we do advise our clients that same sort of thing.
I love it. All right, listen, Alex Sifakis, thank you very much for being here. I think your business model is fantastic. You're absolutely serving a need that I hear every day. And from all the folks that I've met who are making an attempt of doing this, I think the Jacksonville Wealth Builders are doing it the best. So congratulations on that.